So, good evening. It's good to have this time with you again. This is When Men Talk with Norua Edopolo. It's a minute to our start time, so I just want you to use this time to. Good evening and welcome to When Men Talk with Norua Edopolo. It's a pleasure to have you here again tonight. And I'm really delighted that you're able to make it. I'm really delighted that you are able to make it here tonight. It's my pleasure to spend this time with you. And just like we said last week, we're going to be continuing with our discussion on the man and his money, how to make it, how to save it, and how to increase it. But first of all, why do we have this program? You'll agree with me that things have changed. And if not well handled, it could spell doom for us, particularly for the man who is responsible, not just for himself, but for his family, oftentimes for the community and for the nation. When Men Talk with Norua Edopolo is a program that was created to create a safe place for men to find answers and anchors to navigate the stormy waters of life. During the COVID lockdown, the pressure I felt as a man was quite much, and I kind of felt that I wasn't the only one. So I thought maybe we could create a place where men can come and we can have these conversations. Of course, here we talk about faith, we talk about business, relationships, we talk about business, about relationships, talk about our values, and just about everything, in between. Now, last week we began to talk about the man and his money, and we looked at, the difference between wealth and riches or wealth and money. Today we want to take it a step further by asking, what is your money type? All right, now, I did promise that I was going to send the link. I must confess, I took my time to do that because I was looking for, a link that, a questionnaire that would not be too difficult. I eventually found one. I did the questions twice, each time less than 5 minutes, and the results were amazingly spot on. And so if you are on Instagram, you can go ahead and check my bio on Instagram, and there's a link there. Just click on that link and it will take you to the place, but not right now. Let's just have a conversation now, and then later on you can decide to go back and check it out. All right, so we're asking the question, what is your money type? So like I said, I saw different possibilities, but I settled on a particular one, and that one came up with five types. There's a visionary, there's a producer, there's the nurturer, there's the epicure, and then there's the independent. So what I'm going to do today is to very briefly take you through each of those different types that has been described. Take you through each of them, and then we will then see. So you can actually just by just listening to the kind of things I'm going to be discussing, you can actually then decide, what your money type is. We're going to look at each of them very briefly. We'll consider them, and then we'll see what your money. So let's start with the visionary. They see money as a tool for self-expression, a means to follow their passion. They are driven to do what they do, for the love of the work, and they equally get excited when they actually get paid for, delivering. They are driven to do what they love, and they like the fact that they can also make money in the process. Now, some of them are highly motivated by money. Others are motivated by the quality of work that they produce. These are people who thrive on work that lets them express their vision in the world, and they see money as a symbol of success, a proof that their ideas and their achievements are valued. Those are the visionaries. Now, for the visionaries, they take pleasure, when others recognize their worth and they're willing to invest in their projects. What are their fears? They are afraid that, they might die with all their money, still hidden away somewhere. Now, for those who have this money type of personality, be careful of a sabotage pattern. It says visionaries can take excessive risk, making them financially vulnerable. They can take excessive risk, making them financially vulnerable. So what must you do if you are a visionary, just to balance, some of those lapses that we just identified? Number one is you should have a short-term cash reserve. I mean, this cannot be overemphasized in the light of what has happened recently. Even if you were doing a business that was giving you X whatever, X dollars, X naira per day, and you didn't have some kind of savings, you would have woken up this morning with so much money, and you would have gone to bed with little or nothing, little or nothing to show for it. All right. So that's the kind of thing that visionaries need to be mindful of. Visionaries also need to go through their expenses. You need to have an idea of what your monthly cost is, so that in your desire to make money, you don't run yourself out of town. I noticed that I seem to be having a challenge again with Instagram today. So guys on Instagram, I don't know if you can hear me, but we're doing good on Facebook, so maybe you want to join us on Facebook. So you also need to do some diligence before you go into bed with an investor. You need to be sure that whoever it is that you're going to invest your money with, you have correspondence in vision, in your so that you don't end up with lawsuits and what have you. That's very, very important. So you don't end up with lawsuits and stuff like that. Okay. Now the producer, that's the second money type. The first one we said is a visionary. The second one is a producer. Producers are grounded, they are diligent, they are consistent when it comes to their money. They enjoy accumulating it and watching it grow. They watch over their money closely, and they evaluate their decisions methodically. All right? These guys are diligent, they are grounded, they are consistent. I'm kind of like, I wish this was me, but I can tell you this is not me. All right? So they love to accumulate money. They love to watch it grow. There are people who can wait. There are people who can wait. There are people who can, the kind of person that will buy a piece of land for 200,000 naira and wait for 10 years and sell it for 10 million naira. That is a producer. All right. And they can be financially conservative. You probably won't see any show of wealth on them, but guess what? They have the money. All right. So they minimize their exposure to risk regardless of how much money they have. They are very, very conservative. You won't see, bling bling on them, but they have the money. Now, people like this, they just love to acquire, manage, and accumulate money. Sometimes that in itself is more enjoyable to them than actually spending money. Okay? Just acquiring the money is of a greater delight to them than even spending, money. All right? Now, one of the major fears that people like this have is that they fear the major of, losing control, not having money, somebody stealing their money. So that's why people like this, maybe they put money under the bed, dig it into the ground, have a savings account that nobody else knows about, and money is just there sitting down. Now, people with this money type should be mindful. They may become compulsive savers and become overtly conservative with their money. So they have the money, but his shoes could be tattered and torn and opening. His car could break down every 10 kilometers. Rather than take part of that money and go and buy a new car or change the shoe, the guy just wants to continue seeing the money in the bank and struggle with this, torn shoe. All right? So what should people like this do? They need to balance out. Yes, it's good to save, but save some and then spend some, for God's sake, because if you die, somebody else is going to spend it anyway on your behalf. So save some and spend the rest. Okay? So consider investing in a portfolio that so again, depending on where you are in life, you don't want to consider, you want to then think of how to invest, where you should invest, etc. So we've done the two of them now. Then you have the nurturer. The nurturer see money as a tool to help others, whether it's their parents, their children, their partners, their co-workers, their employees, their communities. They are ever willing to help. For the nurturer, relationship comes first. And usually, they think of everybody else but themselves. All right? For them, they feel bad if they cannot help people that need money. For them, they think that it's almost like they've been sent to the world to empower people, to help people. So they're ever willing to help. They're very generous with their money. They're generous with their time. They can hardly say no when you ask them for anything. Now, nurturers love to provide materially for other people to make sure that their needs are taken care of. Now, they fear letting people down and not having enough to support those they love. That's the fear of the nurturer. Now, for the nurturer, what can sabotage you is you can invest too much, whether it's money or time, in supporting others, and you forget about yourself. So take note of that, all right? Those of you who have children, don't spend all your money training them. Keep some for your old age, because the truth of the matter is, when your children come of age, their families will be priority to them. That's a fact, okay? So you must know that money isn't just for investing in companies or loved ones. Also, keep some for yourself. Review your expenses for the past and then try to understand your monthly expense so that you can actually keep something for yourself. If you're just joining us, this is When Men Talk with Noruwa Edokpolo. It's a program that focuses on men and their issues. Together we search for those answers and anchors that will help us to navigate the stormy waters of life. Every Monday evening, 6:30 p.m. West African time, on this channel, on Instagram, on Facebook, you will be able to join us. And of course on the radio, the online radio, mixlr.com/Noruwa Edokpolo as one word. Today we are discussing the man and his money and how to make it, how to save it, and how to increase it. And we're talking about your money type. We've looked at the nurturer, we've looked at the producer, we've looked at the visionary. So we're going to go on and look at, I think there are two more. Yes, we have the epicure. The epicure, they love money. They love spending it primarily on material possessions, on things. They just love to spend money on things, on experiences. They may enjoy saving, but usually spending is what's on their mind. They are the ones that travel abroad on a holiday and they don't rest. Because from the day they land in wherever it is they travel to, they shop and shop and shop and shop and shop and shop and shop until the morning that they are departing and their flight is in the evening. They love the good life, all right? They will spend money on themselves. If they like it and they can afford it, they go for it. They are very quality conscious. They really want to have a good time. So they love to invest in enjoyable experiences, services, and products. They want to travel the world. They want to go to the best hotels. They want to go to the best restaurants. They want to wear the finest clothes at a party. All right? Those are the kind of people that are epicures. Now, they fear losing their lifestyle or never having money to really enjoy the lifestyle that they want. Now, what could sabotage these people is that they could fall into compulsive spending, compromising their financial future. One of the things that I'm learning is to see people who, when I was younger, I knew them to be rich and they could literally afford anything. And then you now see them in their old age and you wonder, oh, you mean you didn't even do this or that whilst you were waiting? All right, it's almost unbelievable that they didn't do that. Okay, so there is a fear that they may just not, remember to save something for their old age or for, their retirement. So what must they do? You must choose your experience on a goals-based approach. You don't just go anywhere that you can afford to go. You've got to plan it. Bearing in mind that, okay, if this is all the money I have, should I spend all of it on a vacation? Or should I, maybe go to somewhere less expensive and save some part of it. All right. Try and set short-term and long-term goals. Allocate your money so that you have fixed expense and you have your savings, so you're not just spending. There must be some kind of guide to how you spend money. Now, finally, we have the independence. Independence deeply value freedom and autonomy. It's important to them to live life on their own terms and to have the freedom to follow their bliss, just like the Epicures. They tend not to think about money unless it's getting in the way of living the life they want. They resist having money dictate their life choices, and their choices do not make sense to others around them. I mean, the guy who wakes up, leaves a good job, and decides to travel the world with his backpack. That's an example of an independent. So, I mean, for him, so long as he can travel and visit all the continents of the world, he's happy. He would only think of money if he's unable to do that which he wants to do. So he's not really driven by possessions. He's not driven by, supporting or helping people. He just wants to travel the world. That's what he wants. So now, the people who are independent-minded, they love investing in adventures and experiences. They fear living inauthentically. In other words, they want to be free. They want to be themselves. If they have to do, it's almost like they are untrue to themselves if they have to, because they don't have money, So for example, the one who wants to travel the world, who now has to take a paid job, stay in one place and go and come back every day from the office, that becomes like a challenge to that person. All right, so independent people, what can sabotage them? They can fail to pay enough attention to money, and by so doing, they create avoidable financial hurdles. The truth of the matter is that you cannot afford not to be interested in finance. It's critical, it's pivotal, and it will affect you. Okay? So what must they do to balance the equation? Instead of following the crowd, they must take control, and they shouldn't be afraid to ask questions to make sure that they are engaged in their financial lives. So there you have it. We've looked at 5 different money types. Like I said at the beginning, different authors or different people will call these things by different names. But the summary is that there is a way that you relate with money. If you are going to make it, save it, and increase it, you must understand that relationship. You must be able to recognize how you and money relates. And then, yes, it is possible that you could, improve yourself somewhat. It is possible that you could, develop new habits. But certain things are, hardwired into our DNA. So you may not be able to move from a nurturer and just move completely to an epicure, or move from an epicure completely to an independent. The chances are you may become a blended version of them, so that you take the good part of what you are naturally and then you add up to it. And so if you understand your money type, okay, so for example, if my money type is the person that likes to spend, I then recognize that it then becomes critical for me to consciously, so if I was on a fixed salary and I'm a spender, then I would want to have, for example, a direct debit instruction to my bank to say, every time my salary is paid, take this amount of money, put it into mutual funds, take this amount of money, put it into my pension, take this amount of money, because I know that if it gets into my hand, bingo, that's it. All right? So that's the whole idea behind this, to recognize your money type and then to position yourself to maximize the inherent benefits in your money type, and then to adjust for the lapses in your money type, so that you can improve the possibilities of becoming better at how you manage your money. Now, I don't know if you guys on Facebook, if you want to ask a question, if you want to make a contribution, please go ahead. The guys on radio also, we seem to have a glitch with Instagram. I would have it fixed finally before we meet again next week. I'm not sure what the challenge is, but I will fix it. I think I have an idea of what's happening there, but I'll get it fixed before we meet again. Now, there's a conference or a webinar that is coming up. It's about investing. I've gotten somebody who is very good in online marketing. I've gotten somebody who has cracked the code for success in agriculture. I've gotten somebody who is an expert in what I might call the traditional investing lines, commercial papers, treasury bills, the stock market, etc., etc. I've gotten somebody who also who understands cryptocurrencies, and I'm trying to bring all of them together to put together an investment conference just for your purpose so that you can learn. That conference will most likely be coming up at towards the end of July or early August, but I would let you know. So keep watching and keep listening. I'm excited about that conference because I believe that it will be an opportunity for people to really have their eyes open. The truth of the matter is that you cannot become financially independent only from salary. You must earn, you must save, you must invest. All right? So how do you earn money? When you have money, sometimes I see people ask the question, I have 100,000 naira, what can I invest in? I have 500,000 naira, what can I invest in? I have 1 million naira, what can I invest in? And most people are not educated. And oftentimes you fall into the hands of charlatans, and they just take your money and story, and that's the end of it. So that's why I'm putting this conference together, to give you a broad array of areas where you can invest. So you look at the possibilities, and then you can take up any of those options that you find that suits your money type, that also suits your age, because it's important that there are some kind of investments that you can do at 35 and 40 that may not be wise at 55 and 60. All right, so keep watching. I will be telling us a bit more about that conference every Monday evening when we meet. I should tidy up all the speakers before we meet again on Monday, and once the speakers are all confirmed, I'll be telling you about them as we go along. So again, it's been a pleasure to spend this evening with you. I hope you've gained something from this particular discussion that we've had today about your money type. I hope you've gained something. If you want to ask me a question, you can always you can send me a DM. Oh, by the way, okay, that's Leke Johnson, thanks. Lizzie Seriki, thank you. Ayomikun, Ayodeji, Gideon, Braimo, Babalola, Chima, Obidigbo. That's my guy. Thank you all so much for joining on Facebook. The people on radio, I think we have, I have Bachinobi on radio. I'm not sure who else is on radio now. All right, Bachinobi is here. Okay, so that's it, everybody. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's edition. We're back again next week, and next week we'll be talking about multiple income sources. How can you have multiple income sources? The truth is, one income source is not likely to be enough. So next week we're going to be talking about how to generate multiple income sources from your passion, from your network, from your connection. So we're going to look at all of these things. How do you generate income from your passion? How do you generate income from your network? How do you generate income from your network, your connection, your passion, from your community? All right. One of the courses that I teach in our business academy is how to generate a business idea if you want to set up a business. In the same way also, it is also possible to recognize how to generate an investment, how to see an investment opportunity and take it up. I'll share with you the story of a friend of mine. He's a pharmacist, retired now. Brilliant chap that he is. He goes around, sees small shops. He will observe them for a while. Once it's clear that they are, there's integrity, they know what they're doing, he will invest in them. And when he was talking to me, he said, I have over 10 million invested in small SMEs all around the place. And he's getting his returns on investment without sweating. So there are so many things that we can do to generate income. We'll be talking about that next week. I'd like you to promise me that you will tell somebody about. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Dende. Instagram has messed up again today, but I will fix it. I will fix it. The good thing is that this is recorded on Facebook, so I probably will put it on my Instagram TV so that. Okay, somebody says, but sir, if someone decides to invest part of his salary in Forex or online trading, is it worth it? Good question. We would look at that question next week. Or rather, maybe what I should say to you is that why don't you wait for the seminar so that the expert can answer the question. I'm bringing somebody to talk about cryptocurrencies. I'm sure that that person would also say something about Forex trading. But what I always say to people is this: please don't just give your money to somebody and hope that everything will turn out well. So if you want to go into Forex or online trading, you need to do a bit of homework, try to understand it, and don't be quick to get into what I call a get rich quick. Get rich quick. Even if one is advanced in age, it is still wise to be patient to build wealth. All right? It is still wise to be patient to build wealth. So I love the statement you made on the kind of business that may favor one at 35 years old and is different from what will favor you at 55. True? Okay, let me see if I can see more of this. Okay. Please kindly talk more on investment suitable for 35 to 40-year-olds. Okay. Yes, I will be talking about multiple income streams next week, but there's a conference that is coming up either at the end of the month or early August, where I'm going to get somebody to come to it. It's an investment awareness conference. That's what I've called it, an investment awareness conference. I'm bringing experts, online business, traditional investment routes, commercial papers, mutual funds, treasury bills, government bonds, and stuff like that. I'm bringing somebody that will be talking about cryptocurrencies. That is the latest thing in the world, and believe me, the big organizations are getting into currencies. So it's huge and it's big, okay? So I'm going to get people that will be talking about that. So very soon, we're going to open the portal for registration, and so let's just look forward to that seminar. I think it's going to be a big one. I've got 3 of the 4 speakers confirmed. Once I confirm the 4th person, we'll start making noise about it. But don't you worry, by God's grace, we'll all be here and we would have that conference sometime in July. I will keep you posted, of course. So thank you very much again for making it a date with us tonight. Somebody says, please talk about business that are viable that can be invested into, sir. Yes, that is going to be part of the investment awareness webinar that I'm planning. So yes, they are going to be talking about different types of investments, and you can then decide which investment you would like to, which of them you will be interested in. So that conference is just going to be about 100 seats. Because I really want you to have time to speak to the. Hi, Nero, all the way from Canada. We're almost running up now, but good to have you here, man. Thank you very much. So that conference is going to seat just 100 people, because I would like you not just to listen, but to have time to really speak with the different speakers. So we're going to have the conference, and when we're done, we're going to break into sessions where you can then go and ask questions of the particular speaker that you're interested in. Okay, so we're going to make that happen by God's grace. It's going to be called our Investment Awareness Seminar. Hi, Niron. Good to have you here, man. Even though we have 2 minutes to go, but hey, it's better late than never. Sorry, Instagram didn't work again today, but I will fix it by next Monday. I think I finally have nailed the problem, so I will fix Instagram by next week, Monday, so that the guys on Instagram can follow us. Later on, we can download it onto YouTube, and the folks on YouTube can then take it up from there. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Let me see if there's anything on the radio. Yes, we'll talk about business that are viable and at that conference. So get ready for the conference. It's going to be open. There will be an early bird registration, and then we'll just take it from there. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure spending this evening with you. I will see you again by God's grace next week, Monday, 6:30, same time. Thank you very, very much.